If you've got thousands of followers on Instagram, but you're still stuck making 2 to 5K a month, then this video is for you. You're doing the hard part, right? You're doing the reels, you're doing the stories, you're doing the feed posts, and you built attention. You've got good attention on your Instagram page, but attention without conversion is just vanity. And today I'm going to show you exactly why your followers aren't buying and how to actually fix it. So I just want to make this clear. Just because you have a big following, it doesn't mean a big bank account. And what I mean when I say that is that having followers is good, right? You built the attention, but the conversion is what actually matters. So you need that funnel and you need that system to convert, right? And for example, you can have 100,000 followers and still make less than someone with 2,000 followers, because the difference isn't numbers, it's intimacy. And I've seen this plenty of times where someone I know has had a creator with 1 million followers message to help and they're only doing 10K. Imagine that, she's got 1 million followers on Instagram, but she's only doing 10K per month. So there's no conversion there whatsoever. And the problem is that there's no intimacy. And you've got to see it like this, right? So your followers on your Instagram, right? They see your content for free. And they double tap, they like, maybe they comment, but the difference is that they're not actually emotionally invested if you're not pulling the right verticals. So on OnlyFans, people pay for access, right? They don't pay for the aesthetic. So if your social content doesn't make people feel close to you, then they'll never make that next step. Conversions happen when they feel three things, and that's curiosity, connection, and urgency. So I'm actually gonna break down right now. Let me just flip my camera quickly. I'm gonna break this down for you and give you guys an actual visual of what I actually mean, because I feel like this just come across way better. And I wanna give you guys a step-by-step, a full breakdown, because this is so important, this is so key. So curiosity, right, is what they don't see. And what they don't see creates that FOMO. Like that, literally creates that FOMO. So then that makes them, the fear of missing out is literally what it is. FOMO, the fear of missing out. And that fear causes an action for them to actually proceed forward and pulls that trigger to click that link to subscribe, right? So curiosity, right, is what they don't see. And what they don't see is what causes FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. And that fear causes the action to pull that trigger to click that link and to subscribe. And that's why it's a big step to have out of the three, because without curiosity, there's no FOMO and there's no reason for them to click that link. And then once they do subscribe, they've got that feeling of the satisfaction, that feeling of the dopamine, which is also so important. Dopamine releases and then the anticipation starts, and yeah, there you go. And yeah, and that's why curiosity is so key and is the one out of the 3 steps. They've got curiosity, right? They've got that feeling of FOMO, but you need the next step, which is building that connection. So they've seen your page, and now the next step is that connection, because without that connection, they've got no reason to subscribe. So connection, they feel like they know you, but they can't feel like that when they're at stage 1. So right now, so you got the sub, right? So he's got that curiosity, but now he needs that connection. And right now he doesn't feel like he knows you, right? Are you guys with me? Hope this all makes sense to you. And yeah, so he's a stage 1 sub, right? He's got the curiosity, but now he needs the connection to stay and to have that retention. So the biggest mistake creators make is posting perfect influencer style content, because that works for brand deals, but it doesn't work for sales. And the reason why it doesn't work for sales is because there's no relatability, right? There's another reason to push to stage 2, which is that connection, right? So what does work, right? Relatability mixed with mystery. To talk to your audience like you're texting them, not performing for them, right? So show glimpses, not the whole picture. Leave questions unanswered, and you want to build that emotional tension. So relatability is another reason to push to stage 2, because it's another step towards feeling like they know you, right? And then once they feel that relatability, there's another reason to push to stage 2. Because now he's a stage 2 sub because he's feeling that relatability, which makes him feel like he knows you more. And he would even like to have a conversation with you about it, or like a joke. And to let you know he's had that same experience, which builds that connection. As long as you agree and match the same energy with that sub. So he's feeling that relatability, which makes him feel like he knows you more, and to let you know he has that same experience or that same feeling, right? So he actually relates to her, which builds that connection as long as you agree and match that same energy with that particular sub. So that's, you got curiosity and connection. And the next stage is urgency. So with urgency obviously comes scarcity, and they feel like they miss out if they don't take that opportunity to subscribe. So these 3 things are so key to have, and without it you won't have like a long-term whale or long-term value with a subscriber. So instead of posting a bikini pic with a caption like beach day, for example, you can try this bikini didn't last long. It's suggestive, it's personal, and it creates that curiosity. So here's the thing, people don't just see your link and buy. So think of it like this, right? So you got the attention, the interest, the desire, and the action. So attention is obviously TikToks, Reels, YT Shorts, YT videos, even streams on like Kick. Even Instagram stories builds that attention. So now you got the interest, right? So you got the content that shows your personality and your lifestyle. And now they can feel like they're getting to know you more, right? So now they have a bigger picture of what you like and what you don't like, and what your hobbies are, and what you like to eat, and so on and so on. And that creates that relatability, right? They have something in common, which is builds that connection. And then the next step, you got desire. So subtle teasers that creates that fantasy and that curiosity. So a clear call to action tells exactly where to go. So there's no confusion, there's no frustration, there's no friction, and it's easy and simple because everyone knows that simplicity scales. Most creators stay in that attention phase, but not because they're making viral content, but because there's no actual path for fans to actually convert to their page. Let me show you guys an example quickly. You should have a link strategy, right? Because without a link strategy, there's no way there's going to build up that curiosity, that FOMO. So to obviously create that curiosity, that scarcity, you can have, like, for example, top of my head, so you can either have the story highlights with it saying exclusive, or you can even have a pinned post with a direct call to action, for example, saying this is where I'm actually myself. So now you have a link strategy. Now you need to fix your Instagram bio. So you have to think of your Instagram bio as a shop window, right? So it should sell curiosity and not to tell your job and what you actually do, because one of the Instagram TOS, you should always learn the TOS. It doesn't create that curiosity, right? And you need that curiosity. That is a bad Instagram bio. So a good example would be your new addiction with hearts, like come see what I don't post on here, you know, like stuff that builds that curiosity and that scarcity. So you want your feed to do 2 things, right? First thing is make people feel like they know you. For example, behind the scenes, you got POVs, you got your personality. And the second thing is to make them crave more with, for example, subtle teasers, and emotional storytelling. So the most important thing is these two here. So to make them feel like they know you and to make them crave more. So once people subscribe, the real money starts, right? So if you're making 3 to 8K a month, it's probably because people are subscribing, but they're not spending. And the key to scaling is turning subs into spenders, right? That means sending voice notes, because sending voice note creates that high intimacy, which creates that high conversion. Then you've got personalizing messages, right? So I thought about you when I filmed this. Or even when you say their name, or call them nicknames, right? Like, say for example, he goes gym, you can call him Hercules or something. It builds such a strong connection, even when you say their name. Like, there's not enough messages where the model says the subscriber's name. I've seen it so many times. Then you've got creating tiers of content, right? So not everyone should see the same thing. That creates that special bonds. So they think that this is just for me, and it makes them feel special, and it makes them think that you think they feel special. Like, it's so powerful, these small little things. Even keeping the chats emotional, right? And not just transactional, because if you keep on making the chats feel transactional, they feel like they're being used. And once they feel like they're being used, they are gone. Trust me, I've seen it so many times. So it's always so important to keep it emotional. And one of the key things to do to make it feel emotional is that, this is one of the biggest mistakes, I swear, is when a section script is finished, right? They just move on, you move on to the next subscriber. But you should never do that. And the best thing to do, the key thing to do, is aftercare. Whether they're feeling relaxed or they've got post-nut clarity, and you need to make them feel comfortable and happy, because if they feel that post-nut clarity and you don't make them feel comfortable, they're probably most likely never going to spend again. And even if you do make them feel comfortable, you can even talk about the next time for a next section script. So for example, you say like, oh, I can't wait for part 2, or like part 2 is going to be even better. It's these small little key things that really make the big difference. And that's why aftercare is so important, because you're not selling content, you're selling connection and fantasy. So if you've got the followers but not the income, your problem isn't visibility, it's conversion. So start treating your social media as a funnel and not a portfolio. And if you want to see the exact systems that help creators scale from 1K to 21K in 30 days, I dropped a video last week on how I scaled a creator from 1K to 21K in just 30 days with no ads, no shout outs, no spammy, just full 100% organic, and mostly on Instagram. Feel free to go watch that video. And if you actually want these systems worked on you, make sure to drop a DM on my Insta at BamsOFM. And I've got a link in my description if you want to apply or just start using these strategies today. So I hope you found this video valuable. If you've got any questions, feel free to put in the comments. I read every single one. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.